Hey, what's up guys? This is the Rivian R1T. Rivian opened up a store/showroom in Venice, California where you could check out the car. They don't let you test drive it just yet. I'm sure that will come in the future. But right now they had two Rivian R1Ts, no Rivian R1Ss, and I basically filmed just about everything. So starting from this whole camping package where you could pull out this stove really, which is amazing that it fits right in. I mean, these are additional packages, but they have storage here. You could lift that part out. So this is going to be an in-depth review of the Rivian. So I just about did everything except drive it, which is one of the things that I wanted to do. So in the future, when they do offer test drives, I'll be sure to go back and test drive one just because it looks so exciting. Now, I haven't canceled my Cybertruck order, so it wasn't that amazing for me to go and cancel it, but I did think about the Rivian for a quick second, and I mean, it looks like a pretty awesome car, a truck, I should say. So we could see that it comes with all the compartments and everything, and later on I'll show you guys the internals because one of the Rivian employees explains a lot of it, so it's like a summarized view of it. So feel free to skip around, so check out the timeline. Okay, so looking at the bed of this truck, there is a lot going on here, a lot of buttons that I'm going to show you guys, pretty much everything that it does. I did get a chance to play with it. There is a lot going on. It's not the biggest bed in the world, but it does definitely look sturdy and it looks very, very nice. This is the roof rack, and that is a glass roof for the top. I'll show you guys an internal shot later on when I'm inside the vehicle. And these things have air vents, this tail, whatever you want to call it for that part of the truck. And taking a step back so we could kind of see the rear of the car, it does look very nice. You do have that huge Rivian sign basically telling you, so it's unmistakable. And when we look at the bottom of the truck, it's basically flat. You just have this huge battery. It is a quad motor setup and it looks beastie, and it just looks amazing. And on the other Rivian R1T that they had there, so they had this thing exposed. The towing capacity is rated for 11,000 pounds, I believe, and you have your plugs here. So it looks very beefy, very beastie. 11,000 pounds is no joke to tow. Granted, the Cybertruck, the tri-motor, supposedly can do up to 14,000 pounds. So something to note here. And this is an underneath shot of it just so you guys could get a sense of what it looks like. Back to the blue R1T, this is a underpanel shot from the front just so you guys get a sense of what it looks like. The AC was on, and that's just condensation at play. Now, as I come up, you will notice that there is a small camera on the bottom front of the truck, which will probably mostly help with off-roading. You see the two little air vents. I'm assuming they're air vents, and you have those very nice fog lights. And just overall, it just looks nice. Now, getting back to the bed of the truck, I'll show you guys the frunk a little bit later. So you push this button and it does a soft open. Granted, you have to close it by hand, and it is decently heavy, not the heaviest thing in the world, but it's decently heavy. It feels like very good quality. And speaking of quality, you get these latches that are very durable, metal, and very, very strong. And you do have another one on the other side, which is a matching set. And you get two AC power plugs on the right side. I don't know how much current they support, but you do have two of them. And that's the emergency latch button. So if someone was in there, you push that button and it would open up the bed. So when I push this button, it lights up and the bed would open. So you guys could see an example of that. And that's what it does when you push the normal button anyways, because it lights up as the bed is opening. Another advantage of this pickup is the fact that you could slide stuff very easily because of that middle piece that I'm trying to lift that doesn't open right now. Now underneath this, because I didn't realize the latch was on the left side, that's where the spare tire is, and it is a full-size spare tire. So you have everything you need to change it. There is a jack inside and everything. So you should be good to go in case something goes wrong. And here's the latch. Again, it opens up pretty easily. Once you pull that, the whole thing pops up and you should be good to go. Now, time for closing. When I was trying to close this thing, it wasn't closing from the center. So you do have to push it from the left or the right side where the actual latch is. You could tell, like for that one, I tried to close it pretty hard, but all you really have to do is just push it from the left side and you're good to go. But overall, this bed is pretty awesome. The door does have a soft open, doesn't have a soft close, and this is what it looks like when I left the middle flap or whatever you want to call that piece. But very nice bed. Time to get to the bed cover. So there is a button you push here and it closes the entire bed, which is a really nice feature. And the bed cover itself seems pretty strong. Now, I don't think it's strong enough to handle my weight, but I feel like if you had maybe a 30 or 40 pound duffel bag or something, I feel like it could handle that, because when I push on it, it feels pretty strong. It could probably handle something even heavier than that, but I definitely don't feel like I could stand on it. And there are lights underneath when that bed cover is closed, so you could easily see what's inside. And again, we start opening it, and when you push the button, it stops. You push it again, it closes, and you push it again, and then you push it again, it opens. So you could pretty much stop it wherever you want, which is really nice that it's controllable. It's almost kind of like a garage door in a sense. For the air compressor, I was wondering how much PSI it could take, and it goes all the way up to 296. So the range is from 0 to 296. So it's more than enough to pump any tire. It could probably run some power tools if I had to take a wild guess. I don't really know why it would need to go that high in terms of pressure. So I'm assuming it would be for some power tools that it could handle at job sites, which would also be pretty cool. But let me know in the comment sections below what else this would be useful for. I just kind of went down and just left it at 50, just as a normal tire pressure thing. Now, getting back to the other Rivian, I mean, this car does look slammed with the air suspension. I'll show you guys a close-up of that. But this is that internal compartment that opens up. And yes, there is a 12 volt on the bottom left that you see. And so there's even power inside there. These guys thought of everything. This is the whole tent that can come with the car. It does cost a few bucks, but I mean, it goes on the bed of the truck, almost like the same technology as those roof racks, and the bottom is solid. So it does look like it can handle someone basically sleeping there. And this is what it looks like underneath. So you do have these blocks pretty much distributing the weight all around. So I feel like it should be fairly sturdy if you sleep in it. Looking at the window, it is a bit on the sharper side, which reminds me of those 80s or 90s SUVs that had those types of windows. Granted, it's not too sharp when you touch it with your fingers. And look at this air suspension. The travel it has is amazing. This car looks slammed. That's how low it gets. It's crazy how low it is that it literally looks slammed. Very, very impressive range on the air suspension. So pushing this button does open up the side compartment, which stays, but it doesn't feel like it has that soft open that the bed door has. So it's something that I guess I would just open up a little bit slowly. And this is what it looks like. So that whole stovetop, cooktop, whatever you want to call it, is on rails that just slides in and out. And then you do have a few lights in here, and there is that safety button in case you were stuck in there or something accidentally happened. You could push this button and you should be good to go. And there's another 12 volt socket on the bottom left. So there is no shortage of power. There's literally power all over this pickup truck. And there's a whole bunch of USB-Cs inside once I get to the inside shot of it. And they even have a compartment within the side compartment door. It's pretty crazy how many places they have where you could just store stuff. Very, very crazy. And it kind of slides in. It's deeper on one end versus the other. And then does this go in when it's driving?
Yeah, when you either start driving or when you lock the vehicle and walk away, they close in.
Ah, so this is open when it's parked and stuff.
Yeah, as you walk up, approach the vehicle or unlock it, they present themselves.
Okay.
And there's lights in there as well.
Oh, that's cool. It feels nice.
Down on the ground as well, right? The lights
Off of the mirror? Yeah. Okay. So there's a tunnel light on the mirror.
Got it.
So it's yeah, it actually looks like it.
The Rivian uses J1772, which is the standard level 2 charger, and it supports DC fast charging for a much quicker charge. And that charge port door is awesome. So you hit those little 3 lines here, you just tap it, it's touch sensitive, and it just opens up. It just looks super cool, very well hidden, which I really like. I also really like the way that Tesla does it because it's integrated into the light. So I like that hidden look that you normally wouldn't notice where it is. Getting to the frunk, you do have a lot of space here. You do have that same safety button. You do have some lights, and you do have a compartment underneath, which makes it even larger. And that is the charging cable, very similar to Tesla's, where you could plug in different plugs. It's basically modular, where you could plug in either a 110, 120 or a 240 volt and just plug in and charge. And you do also have a 12 volt here as well. So lots of power everywhere you go. And you have a little net here as well if you want to store stuff. So ample amount of space. I also was interested to see what the level 2 charger was like. So this is something that you could plug in with the 110 and plug it in straight to your wall outlet. That's the J1772 plug. And this looks like a NEMA 1450 if I just had to take a rough guess. So you plug it in over here. Depending on the external wall outlet plug you use, you'll either use 120 or 240, and it is maxed out at 32 amps, assuming you can actually plug it into a 240 volt. And here's a closer look at the tires, so you could tell that there is some depth to them. And these are off-road tires on 20-inch wheels. So I'm trying to put my finger in there because I had nothing else to measure with. So you do have the air suspension there, and everything is pretty much sealed. And you do have these very nice rims, again 20 inches, and you have those huge front brake calipers. You do see the little Brembo stamping on the side, so these are Brembo brakes. Jumping to the rear brakes, they're not quite as exciting, but here's a close-up anyways. But then again, in an EV, you don't use your brakes too much just because you're using regen braking most of the time. But overall, pretty nice tires, pretty nice rims. These are Pirellis, and if you guys are wondering, these are the specs: 275, 65, R20, and again, Pirelli Scorpion tires. To add another cool element, there is a built-in flashlight, which I find very useful, and it's always charged. It is 1,000 lumens, so it provides an ample amount of light. Even in direct sunlight, you could see that the flashlight is on. So that button right there with the orange line, that's the one that turns on the flashlight. There are 3 different settings, so dim, medium, and the brightest setting. And let's do it one more time: dim, medium, and the brightest setting. And then when you're done with it, you basically just plug it in and it just charges like that. So you just push it in and you're good to go.
I just want to give you guys a quick walkthrough.
Okay.
Is there anything specifically you want to see, or just check out the feel of it?
I mean, can you just kind of give us a intro and stuff?
So if you want to push your seat back a little, that's going to open up your owner profile.
Okay.
You can adjust your steering wheel, your side mirrors, all that with this right here.
Okay.
Going into AC, this can all be moved with your hand. So like,
just like the Tesla.
Yeah. So when you move it like that, it's gonna move.
Cool.
Then also we've got our ventilated seats on right now as part of the adventure package. Also going into navigation. Are you familiar with? It sounds like you're familiar with Tesla's interface a little bit.
Yeah, I have a Tesla.
Okay, perfect. So you're gonna know all about navigation, how it's gonna find you stops along the way, everything.
So
like
this
that.
one finds the regular charging stations?
Yes, that is correct. You can filter it too on level 2, level 3 as well.
Okay.
And then, of course, as we roll out our Adventure and Waypoint network, those will also be uploaded.
Okay.
Music, we've got our Meridian sound system. You can kind of get it here and going right here. Really solid.
Okay.
This is just standard radio. We do have Spotify integration, so you can just log in right here.
Okay.
Tune in radio, as well as, of course, just a standard Bluetooth connection. And then, you know, here's your fade and balance and everything. But the soundstage focus is unique to the Meridian sound system.
Okay.
Sounds absolutely fantastic.
What does the soundstage focus do?
Kind of just throws all like it right on this seat, so it's a little bit like of a step up from there, where it's just like really crisp audio and it's all coming right at you.
So later on, if they give over-the-air updates and stuff, I'm assuming that's included in the price of the car. Are they gonna add stuff like Netflix, YouTube, and stuff?
At the moment, we don't have any plans to roll something like that out.
Okay.
But yeah, with over-the-air updates, everything's possible.
Okay.
So definitely be on the lookout.
Okay.
Yeah, so these are all of our different ride modes.
Okay.
Within any ride mode, you can set your ride height, your brake regeneration, stability, everything like that.
Okay.
But of course, you can see our 4 modes over here. And the one thing to note, under off-road mode, you're also going to have all-purpose off-road, rally, drift, and rock crawl, which are all going to highlight different capabilities of the car that are going to really make it stand out in those different terrains.
Okay.
Then we've also got our driver menu. This is just going to give you an overview of the car.
So if I click this, the hood will open?
Go for it.
Okay, that's pretty awesome. Can I close the hood from here too?
Yep, and all of this can be done through the app as well, and
Okay.
some of it even on your key fob.
Okay.
Also have our cabin lighting. That's not as fun. Here's our charging menu. Although the
Okay.
accent lighting under this looks fantastic.
Okay.
But
Is that one color or is that multiple
one
color?
color? Yes, it's like a soft white.
Bright? Can you make it brighter or less bright?
Yes,
and
you can
stuff?
change that. I'll
Okay,
put it right
cool.
here. It's
All
1,
right.
2, 3.
Okay.
Here's our charging menu. As a Tesla owner, I know you're more than familiar with all of this.
Sure.
Just your battery health, setting your charging schedule, everything like that.
Okay.
Here's just our truck itself, and then our searchable owner's menu.
Okay.
And then we have the camera. We don't have the cameras on right now, just to not record people without their knowledge.
Is there a camera inside?
Yes. So
Is that a camera?
this keeps just to make sure that your eyes stay focused on the road.
Okay.
So that's really going to be the only purpose of that. But the other camera.
Oh, sorry. And this is gonna have like an autopilot type of thing to
So-
focus on the road, or just when you're driving normally it focuses?
So Driver Plus is our ADAS system,
Okay.
and that will it's available on select highways at launch, but that's when that's gonna make sure that you're keeping focused on the road.
Okay.
Pretty spacious back seat.
No, it's real nice.
Like I'm 6'2", I have plenty of legroom right here, and like
yeah, I'm not
I
6'2".
even sat in the middle and I'm 6 and it's like I still have
Yeah.
space, yeah.
Sure.
But I feel like I lose some of the... Oh, this is awesome. I like the suede too.
yeah, so it's actually 100% recycled microfiber.
Okay.
So sustainable materials that really have that luxury look and feel.
Yeah, there's a lot of speakers too, like
Yep,
the
with
Rivian
our
stuff.
Meridian,
Yeah.
there's
Slides
18
away.
now, and then the Tent sticker, which is out here, will be 19. Yeah, and then the
I
real
love
Ashland.
this, yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
No, this is awesome.
Are these speakers here?
They are not. They're just
Or is that a design? Okay.
Yes.
Design.
Okay.
Or is it like... Oh, it's what's the button? Awesome.
Oh, how'd you
that's
open that?
There's a button right here.
Oh, there's a button.
That's
right
pretty deep.
Oh,
Yeah.
neat. Can you open
And
it
then
one
the
more time?
speakers go
Sorry.
here, right?
That's correct.
Oh, so you have USB-Cs down there? Well,
Yep.
that is super deep. No kidding. Yeah, that's definitely.
I love the glass too.
And you could individually control these ACs?
Yes.
So there's 4-way AC control.
Yep, there's the HVAC that comes to the front and then the
Okay.
back as well.
Okay.
Heated rear seats, but not ventilated rear seats.
Heated rear seats.
Are the ventilation seats on for this?
Yep.
How is that? Is that more like a fan or is it like a cool type
It's
of...
cool. It's blowing the AC that is blowing here
Okay.
up through the perforated
Okay.
seats.
That's an awesome feature. I've never seen that
It's the
before.
best, especially on a day like today.
Because I know leather gets kind of really hot during hot days. So.
Is that standard ventilated?
In the adventure package.
In the adventure package.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Yeah. I hope we're open 7 days a week.
So that was pretty much it in terms of reviewing the car. The rest of the video, I'm going to show you guys what the place looks like because they did a pretty good job of fixing it up. So it's 2 primary buildings. One is an art center for kids, and they also have the color combos. So they have the different exterior colors, the different interior colors. So you could pretty much pick them up, take them to the other ones just to look at samples to see which truck color combination you would like. And I actually took one of those exterior panels, took it to the car, and it was pretty much an exact match in terms of the paint color, as you would expect. The other building was filled with books. It was more like a library center, and then on the other part of it, a small section was stuff that it looked like you could buy, like t-shirts and a few other things that were Rivian merchandise. And Everyone there was pretty nice. The employees were nice. When they didn't know an answer to a question, they just referred to someone else. And they were very transparent. They weren't afraid to say, no, we don't have that. Like one of the questions I asked was like, hey, our Rivian's going to get YouTube and Netflix. And the guy's like, well, it's not in our plans right now, but who knows? So he wasn't saying like, oh, definite no, but he's like, yeah, it's not coming anytime soon, if it ever is coming. He wasn't afraid to say that instead of like, yeah, that's coming down the pipeline for sure, even though that could have been true as well. But he wasn't afraid to say, no, that's not something we're thinking about right now. Well, I'm just paraphrasing what he said. Now that I've had a chance to experience it in person, here are my thoughts on the R1T. Starting with the pros, aesthetically it looks pleasing. It looks like it's high quality. The fact that I could stand on those side compartment doors shows me how strong they are. Everything felt very solid. The bed door opening was very solid. It feels hefty. It feels like it's a quality pickup truck. There was not something that I was touching that felt cheap or anything like that. So overall, very, very good in terms of quality. There are a whole bunch of power ports. I love the fact that it has an air compressor. I love the fact that they integrated so many things to the bed of the pickup truck. It just looks awesome. There's a huge frunk on it. That charge port door looks cool. The lights look cool. There are lights everywhere. There are cameras everywhere. So it just looks very, very nice. And even the interior, when you sit inside, you're like, wow, it feels very high end. It doesn't feel cheap at all. It literally feels very high end when you sit in this pickup truck. Jumping to the cons, there's not many, but just keeping it short, the Rivian itself is not super energy efficient. I wouldn't say it's quite that bad, but it uses a pretty large battery pack of 135 kilowatt hours to go 314 miles. That's what the EPA estimate is. Another con is that the user interface wasn't quite as smooth as cell phone-like as in a Tesla. So this one was a bit more laggy. So hopefully they fix this with an over-the-air update. And the third thing, which is not a con, it's just something worth noting, is the fact that the Rivian is new. So we really don't know anything about longevity in terms of, is the battery going to last? Is the motor going to last? Are there going to be any other issues or anything like that? So hopefully it's a solid car. Hopefully it lasts a very long time, but it's just something worth noting. If you guys enjoyed this video, smash that subscribe button and I'll catch you guys in the next one.